Are you confusing me with someone else? You were always so forgetful. Remember that time in the hotel?
Maria?
You said you took everything, but you forgot that videotape we made. I wonder if it's still there.
How do you know about that? Aren't you Maria?
Okay, I think that's out to everybody it needs to be.
Taping again? Come on.
I'm just gonna launch straight in.
I don't know why, but I just love it here.
Oh god, can I not skip this?
It's so peaceful. You know
It kind
that-
of does feel like a music video, right? It helps that Akira Yamaoka's music is
I think
just
I can see
fantastic,
why.
honestly.
It's too bad we have to leave.
I could drool over it for hours and hours, but it's not what we're here. I actually can't seem to skip this. That's kind of funny. I guess we're just watching the intro now.
Glad you're alive.
That's fine. You do still have that issue with the sound cutting out every couple of seconds, but it seems to specifically only be with like the intro or maybe just with FMV, and the rest of the like the in-engine cutscenes are fine. I don't know. But it's you know, it is what it is. I really don't know what's causing that, so the rest of the stream sounds fine. Actually, no, I checked it myself.
Maybe I did.
What's a little girl like you doing here anyway?
Huh? Are you blind or something?
Oh, it's you. Just put the gun to
So,
your head.
something I should mention, I didn't do this, I didn't do my due diligence at the start of last stream, but yes, this stream particularly, we're going to be exploring a mental health facility. This is something that I'm going to be talking about at length later, but we're going to see kind of some not great depictions of people who are mentally ill. Something that a remake improves upon a lot.
Yeah, but
We're also going to have discussions about some really serious shit, you know, suicide and suicidal ideations, terminal illness, child sexual abuse. So if that's not something that you can handle, that's totally cool, but just be aware.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, and yeah, I think we're just about done here. It's weird that I couldn't skip it. Hopefully I will be able to control stuff.
Unreal.
It could be a weird codec thing, but this is the enhanced edition, which has fixed basically everything else. Okay, so why can I not control this? Okay, no, here we are. Alright, okay, so we're totally fine. Alright, so I have not done like a second of gameplay here. But I already have to talk about how beautiful Brookhaven looks in the remake. I mentioned this in the previous stream, but certainly for the original game, it's difficult to kind of get a sense of time for how long everything's taking. Like, is James here for days? It's difficult to imagine him being here for like longer than days because he doesn't like eat anything or like wash himself or, you know. But it feels like it could be like at least hours, certainly, that he's here, certainly like over the course of a day. The remake does fix this because when you enter Brookhaven, it begins as this kind of twilight sunset time period. The whole reception area is just washed in sunlight. It's very pretty, and you can see kind of dust motes floating in the air. And as you play, it kind of gets into darker night until it's completely sunset outside, and like the sun has set rather, and it's nighttime. Okay, so this is a particular thing that I'm going to talk about here. Again, if you haven't played the remake, you're not necessarily going to have a frame of reference for this, but as you enter Brookhaven, there is a big poster on, or rather a big bulletin board saying, you know, these are the symptoms of depression. If you have these, please talk to a doctor. And it does make me wonder, you know, if the mechanics of the original game, the ending determining mechanics of the original game, for example, the in-water ending, the most depressing one, which is also my favourite, of course it is, but they have kind of a mechanic where if you look at depressing things, if you engage in depressing notes that have been handed around, this kind of thing, then you're more likely to get in water. Which I wondered at the time if that was the case. I believe it is, actually. I spent a lot of the beginning of the game at low health, and I ended up getting in water for the first ending for my very first run, which I gotta be honest, did win me over a little bit because it is my absolute favourite ending. Last little bit here before I actually start to play the game. Maria in the remake actually has a little animation where she will shield her eyes if you're particularly like shining the flashlight in her face like I'm doing right here and being very rude, which I don't know, that's a cute little detail. I liked that, but yeah, let's get underway at Brookhaven. So because this is the enhanced edition, all of the textures are looking more high res. You can actually kind of read this poster back here. It's so funny. I can't read the black text underneath, but the white text right under the cross, I believe says, "Gonna beach in the sea." Which is, I don't know if I'd want to see that in a hospital, but there we are. Are these, can I read these? Different kinds of memos are hanging up, but there's nothing of particular interest. Okay. Alright. Yeah, I don't have anything to say just yet until we reach our first nurse enemy. Something is written on it. The potential for this illness exists in all people, and under the right circumstances, any man or woman would be driven, like him, to the other side. The other side perhaps may not be the best way to phrase it. After all, there is no wall between here and there. It lies on the borders where reality and unreality intersect. It is a place both close and distant. Some say it isn't even an illness. I cannot agree with them. I'm a doctor, not a philosopher or even a psychiatrist. Oh gosh, sorry. I believe that previous passage just said something like, oh, the patient is happy there. So why, I asked myself, why in the name of healing must we drag him painfully into the world of our own reality? Something else is written by hand. I got the key from Joseph. It's probably the key to that box. Off to the side there we have the purple bull key. I actually read those memos kind of backwards. The first memo is behind Maria here, if I can get around her. Oh god, is she just not gonna let me read this? That's so funny. I'm sorry, Maria. Okay, can I do it again? Is she still there? Alright, I guess we're just not reading what's in the typewriter right now. From memory, I believe it's just a little memo talking about a patient, a male patient who is experiencing delusions, just kind of generally. Kind of sounds like he's experiencing something like the otherworld transitions we're seeing here, but there's nothing concrete. So we're going to be in Brookhaven for a little bit, not quite as long as we are for the remake, but there is a reason why I cut it yesterday, just because, yeah, it's the first really long section, because I have played this game so many times, I can get the apartments done and dusted pretty quick. Oh, hey, here we have nurses. Alright, so this is going to be slightly dangerous as I try to get a good look at them. Let's heal. So, I'm going to get a quick look at them here. Oh, sorry, Maria. These are the iconic nurses. Okay. That's enough of that. So, the nurses in the remake, I had slightly mixed feelings about. To be honest, they kind of look like they based a lot of the model off of the sexy nurses from Homecoming, which there's nothing wrong with the design itself, but Homecoming is not a good game, so it's just kind of bad associations. However, what I will say that I liked about them was the increased model quality, whatever you want to call it. It meant that you can actually really clearly see that they have a piece of red paper over their mouths, which you can kind of see using the enhanced edition. Not really. It's nigh impossible to see in the original PS2 and original PC version. But it's quite clear to see in the remake, and that is a detail that I thought was really cool. Also, fighting the nurses, I kind of had mixed feelings about also, because in general I was bad at the combat. But if you are fighting the nurses with a melee weapon, I was using the steel pipe at that point, they will actually sometimes grab the pipe as you swing it and like push it back towards you, which took me by surprise. The first time it happened, it was like honestly kind of cool, but then got annoying very quickly. I guess you could kind of equate it to the what do you call it? The genome soldiers from MGS1, where at first it's like, oh, that's cool. I didn't think that they'd think of having the AI do that, and then it very quickly gets annoying. Okay. All right. Upstairs we go then. Okay, let's... So the nurses are a little bit more dangerous than the lying figures. They're not as easy to wheel around. So for exploration purposes here, I will pretty much be killing all of them that I come across. It just makes it an easier time for me. And every man would learn to use weapons better if they survive long enough. Yeah. James is very much the definition of an everyman. I'm not sure if this is like actually confirmed or if it's just something that the fans have kind of made up, but the first couple of protagonists, James and Harry, were named for names that were very popular for men in the English-speaking side of the world at the time, because they are truly meant to be everymen. All right. Let's get a cutscene here.
Ow.
What's wrong?
I just pricked myself.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Thrilling. We got a bent needle. This particular chapter, I guess you would call it, is subject to a lot of adventure game logic, honestly. Also, one of the nurses had a full fucking shotgun in her locker. That's pretty fun. That is a pretty cool detail about Shadow Hearts, honestly. Okay, so Maria is blocking it, but the men's locker room here has like a booby poster on the open locker here. If James examines it, he gets very huffy and says there's no time to be looking at a stupid poster. Which I just find really funny. Oh god, okay. That's a mannequin. I didn't even necessarily need to kill that one. It just took me by surprise, so. Alright. There's a typewriter here. I've got no use for this. Wait a minute, what's this? There's a sheet of carbon paper still stuck in the typewriter. I can still read the imprint left on it. I know it. I know the number of the box, 3316. It can't help him anymore. The button key doesn't scare me, so nobody can stop who I am. I don't know. Who I am is who I am is who I am is very stereotypical, like, ooh, spooky, I'm mentally ill type of shit here, but I won't harp on that too much. Let's just say that the remake does it lots better. The interesting part here is that the number in that note is actually randomized every time, so you have to pick that up. Excuse me. I suppose I should say this, I haven't kind of addressed this just yet, but we do have Maria kind of as like an escort quest now. She actually does have a health bar. It's pretty meaty. There's only really like one area that you need to be worried about her health, and even then that's only on hard mode. Otherwise she can just tank attacks like you wouldn't believe. She's a tough old lass. Oh god. So I suppose I should say this now because there's no real like equivalent for it, but there is a moment in the remake where James is exploring. He kind of goes behind a bookcase or something in one of the rooms in the hospital, gets like behind the wall into, I'm not sure what you call it, like a crawl space or something, but like he essentially like falls like down a couple of floors. And then you can hear him like breathing really heavily because he's scared. And like it was at that moment that I realized that remake James is just as kind of unhinged as original James. He just takes a minute to get there. Like remake James isn't initially sticking his hand in toilets, but he gets there, basically. Okay. Let's scroll down in my notes now. Okay. Okay, just making sure we've checked everything in here. I don't think that this is the solution for this one, but if I try 3316 here. No. Okay, I believe I have missed a memo. This part always trips me up just a little bit. You'd figure it wouldn't after all this time, but yeah, I think there's something that I need to see down there. Oh, I did pick up a key, actually. Lapis eye key. Wrong floor. Okay. Yeah, you are going to start seeing the cracks now, just because this is an area of the game I am less familiar with. No. Ah, here we go. Jack Davis. He has attempted suicide 3 times in the past for reasons unknown. Although he is normally a model patient who follows doctors' and nurses' orders, he must be watched closely due to his pattern of sudden and violent suicide attempts. Joseph Barkin. His illness seems to be rooted in the fact that he believes he is guilty of causing his daughter's death. His symptoms suggest a psychotic break and paranoid delusions. Normally calm, but has a tendency towards violence when excited. Joshua Lewis. History of hospitalization as well as numerous assault, battery, and other violent offences. He has a strong persecution complex and tends to solve things through violence. Extreme caution necessary. So Joseph is one of the patients mentioned here. Can I get... I got the key from Joseph, yeah. Okay. Alright, I think I know what I'm doing now, just have to have a quick refresher. No. we go.
Jeez. Wait a minute. I'm kind of tired. It's just a hangover.
You should rest.
Is the sound okay, by the way? I feel like the game is kind of quiet.
So comfy.
I'm gonna go look for her. For Laura. I'll be back as soon as I can.
Alright, so again, this is something that does indeed happen in the
James,
remake.
I want to ask you something. What if you can't find Mary? What will you do?
I haven't thought about that.
So what I was actually trying to do here. But yeah, so talking to Maria once you've dropped her off there is another ending determining thing. It's also something I did in the remake just because honestly I was getting lost and needed puzzle hints, and I was like, I wonder if Maria would know anything, and it's like, well, why would she? She's just been like sleeping, but I did eventually figure it out, whatever it was. Oh god, where are we? There we go. Okay. So yeah, being nice to Maria, going to check on her, again, spending lots of time with her gives an ending that is possibly my least favourite, so we're not going to be doing that. There's something written on the wall. Louise, I'll take care of you forever. It's my destiny. One, 6. No, not that one. There we go. And then so we just need one more code to get into this really giant lockbox. Okay, no, we can't do anything with that just yet. There is, however, something stuck in the drainage pipe. Okay. So, Silent Hill veterans will know what's about to happen on this roof. I remember in the remake coming up onto the roof here really did have my heart fluttering pretty fast because I knew what was coming. There's something on the floor. Is this the diary? May 9. Rain. Stared out the window all day. Peaceful here. Nothing to do. Still not allowed to go outside. May 10. Still raining. Talked with the doctor a little. Would they have saved me if I didn't have a family to feed? I know I'm pathetic. Weak. Not everyone can be strong. May 11th. Rain again. The meds made me feel sick today. If I'm only better when I'm drugged, then who am I anyway? May 12th. Rain as usual. I don't want to cause any more trouble for anyone, but I'm a bother either way. Can it really be such a sin to run instead of fight? Some people may say so, but they don't have to live in my shoes. It may be selfish, but it's what I want. It's too hard like this. It's just too hard. May 13. It's clear outside. The doctors told me I've been released, that I've got to go home. And then there's a scribble. The diary ends here. There are no more entries. What was the diary doing up here? I think everyone pretty much can put 2 and 2 together now. Alright, we are just waiting for an ambush from a friend now. But he's refusing to show up. Oh no, here he is. Alright, and we've got shortcut down to an area that was previously locked to us. Let's just heal first. Okay. Something is written on the wall. If Joseph looks calm, he can be taken out of his cell. There's something written on the wall. Turn the numbers. Better not forget them. So I'll write them down here. The other one, my secret name. So again, this is random, and sometimes it's kind of difficult to read the numbers. This pretty clearly is 5326, but depending on what you get, it can be difficult to tell if it's like a 7 or a 1 or that kind of thing. Okay. So I think, yeah, I'm back on the 3rd floor, so I can go just straight in. I'm gonna need to check that memo because I've already forgotten what it said. 5326, that's it. And for our troubles, there is nothing inside the box. No, I'm wrong. There were a few hairs inside. I got a piece of hair. I couldn't tell you what is going through James's mind when he picks that up. In the remake, he uses a piece of medical tubing and a bent needle, but it's like a bent medical needle instead of what looks like a bent knitting needle, which just makes a lot more sense to me. But yeah, now we have a way to get this key out. I think the batteries in my controller might be dying as well. We have the elevator key. Let's go to the 2nd floor now so we can finally explore it. Oh god. we've already been down here. Whoops. It's the first floor we need to be on. Aha, here we go.
Laura?
Huh? You know my name?
Eddie told me.
That big fat blabbermouth.
How do you know about Mary?
What's the big deal?
Why can't you just tell me?
You gonna yell at me if I don't?
No, I won't.
I was friends with Mary. We met at the hospital. It was last year.
You liar! Laura,
Fine, don't believe me.
But last year, Mary was already... I'm sorry, Laura. Anyway, let's go. We can talk about this later. This is no place for a kid. There are all sorts of strange things around here. I can't believe you haven't even gotten a scratch on you.
Why should I? Wait! There's something I gotta get.
Later, okay?
But it's really important.
What is it?
A letter from Mary.
Huh?
I wanna go get it. Is that okay?
Yes, yes.
Come on, hurry up.
Is it in there?
Yeah, in the back.
What are you doing, Laura?
It's further back, in the desk.
Laura! What are you doing?
Ha ha, I tricked you.
Open the door, Laura.
Why should I? I'm a liar, right? Want me to open it? Huh? Huh? Do ya? What's the magic word?
Laura?
Okay, I guess I won't open it. I think I'll just leave you like this.
You snotty little brat! Open up!
Why, you...
Laura?
You hurt me!
Okay, so before we get into a boss fight here, a couple things to say. First, when exploring, I guess, the regular version of Brookhaven in the remake, there is a section where it almost feels like another world transition because suddenly the place is like covered in mold. If you know anything about me, you know that like the concept of mold really freaks me out. Especially the idea of like inhaling mold spores. It's something that like just really just squicks me. So that was something that I enjoyed a lot. Second, again, this is a very nitty nitpick, but the delivery of James calling Laura a liar in the remake really does not have the punch that it has in the original. I feel like the assertion that his wife had died not 3 years ago, but last year, or possibly sooner, would be something that he'd be quite angry about, regardless of how old Laura is. But again, that's a kind of a tiny thing. Speaking of the Flesh Lips boss fight, so in the remake, the Flesh Lips boss fight has 2 phases. One where it is on the ceiling like this, and then one where it drops down from the ceiling and kind of has like these spider limbs and starts running around. I'm not a huge fan of the second phase of that. I almost feel like it's a little bit Resident Evil-y. Just to, I don't know, I feel like that's a good like means of comparison, just because it feels a little bit more, I guess you call it, I don't know, like arcadey or game-y, or I don't know, but that's just what the vibe has to me. But in general, it's an alright boss fight. Even in the original game, it's really nothing to write home about, as you will see shortly if I just get out of the way here. What we are going to be doing though is getting our shotgun. Where is it? Yeah. So the name of the game here is just moving and shooting, because these guys are fast and can grab you with those disgusting feet. There is also only one Flesh Lips in the remake, I believe anyway, as far as my memory goes. Whereas there are multiple, as you can see here. Oh god. I really need to learn to count my shots. So something that I haven't been doing that you should be doing if you're playing this game is reload from the menu, because it is much faster, it pauses the game, and it's just safer. Not something that you can do in the remake either. Be a third one. There we go. I have always really liked how abstract the design of the Flesh Lips is. You know, it kind of looks like a person on a gurney, but you really can't be sure. Oh, are you stuck? Oh, he's stuck. Okay, we're good.
James. James.
So the otherworld transition here, I think, is something that the remake does really well. As you just saw in the original, it's honestly pretty abstract, whereas in the remake, James is actually grabbed by the Flesh Lips, or a Flesh Lips, because you've just killed one of them, but he is dragged up into the ceiling, which, yeah, I just like I do like the ambiguity, but I don't know, it just makes a little bit more sense to me that way. And when I came out into the otherworld segment of the hospital, it's quite different to the normal hospital. If I can get out of this fucking elevator. Thank you. So Yeah, it's something that I was honestly quite giddy about in my notes is that the box puzzle we saw there, which I would say is pretty iconic, is actually featured in the Otherworld segment of the hospital, which I just thought was really fun. Oh, I forgot about the spooky sound in here. That was fun. 2 spooky sounds. I'm being spoiled. Oh my god. What's going on? Okay. Is that everything here? Yes, okay. So the box puzzle in the Otherworld in the remake also has the kind of "oh, there's nothing in the box" fake out as well, which I honestly thought was almost kind of pandery, but I loved it, so I'm not going to complain. Okay, and we have our first puzzle segment for this part of the hospital. We have a dry cell battery and a basement storeroom key. Part of the wallpaper is torn. I can see something drawn on the wall beneath. Are those hands searching for something, or are they just a sign of pain? Oh my lord. Fuck it, that's not worth it. There's only a health drink in there. Come out. We have a big empty room here, with just a fridge lying on its side. I feel like that's already pretty ominous, but James says there's something that looks like a refrigerator. I didn't remember that. What else could it possibly be, James? And he cannot open it by himself. It's no good. The door is too heavy to open by myself. So we have a second puzzle here. Let's go back to M4. Next one. That is slightly worrying, because there was 2 in here and now there's only 1. Alright, next floor up. Floor 3. Let's play the place before we make puzzle shit. So we have a door here, which has 3D arms sticking out from the painting. Which, of course, is also featured in the remake. I feel like, again, this is a pretty... I say the word iconic, I don't know, I feel like I'm overusing that, but it's something that you would know if you played this game before. She is an angel, no one knows, only I can see the lady of the door. They cannot walk along her bridge of thread, they fall from the weight of their crimes. Like bloated and ugly corpses, their sins, she devours them, sin and sinner alike. She saves me, she is an angel. There are empty medicine bottles here. Is this what Maria was taking? Is Maria sick now too? So yeah, this is the room where we drop Maria off in the normal hospital, but she is not here in the other world. A feature that is also replicated in the remake. Okay, that's here cleared out. Is there anything that is actually out here? The stairs. Okay. So I'm pretty sure most of these doors will be blocked off here, but I will check them just for the sake of completion. Okay, here we are. We are down in the basement. Okay. Okay. There's a shelf here. There are red handprints on the shelf. Move the shelf.
James!
Mary? Oh, Maria. It's you. I thought you were... Sorry. Anyway, I'm glad you're alive.
Anyway? What do you mean, anyway? You don't sound very happy to see me. I was almost killed back there. Why didn't you try to save me? All you care about is that dead wife of yours. I've never been so scared in my whole life. You couldn't care less about me, could you?
No, I
Then
just...
stay with me. Don't ever leave me alone. You're supposed to take care of me. So, what about Laura? Did you find her?
Yeah, but... She ran away.
We've got to find her.
You really seem to care about her. Do you know her?
I've never met her before. I just feel sorry for her. She's all alone. And for some reason, I feel like it's up to me to protect her.
Okay, so this is another, I guess it's kind of slight, but it is a criticism I have for the remake. The performance here, in general, Maria's voice actress is really, really good, as is the writing for her, but the performance of that particular scene, she doesn't sound angry enough. You just heard, the original Maria is distraught. She's very angry, she's very scared, and remake Maria just doesn't seem to give that as much. Yeah, that's kind of all I have to say on that right now. But there is a very large copper ring down here. And then we need to go to the third floor and then down one. Not this one? Okay. Yeah, this way. Now that I think about it, I think most of my criticisms for the remake come in the form of the voice performances not sounding like exactly how I want them to, but it's always like pretty small. Aside from Angela. Oh, I'll be quiet.
Hi there, everybody! Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to another exciting edition of Trick or Treat. Here you either answer the questions correctly and win a great prize, or fail to answer correctly and receive the punishment. It all depends on you. And our lucky, or should I say unlucky challenger today is James. James Sunderland! You ready to play Trick or Treat? Okay, here's your first question. Merry-go-round, haunted house, roller coaster, Ferris wheel, and teacup. Silent Hill is home to a thrilling amusement park that both children and adults love. The question is, what is the name of this amusement park? 1. Fantasyland. 2. Silent Hill Amusement Park. 3. Lakeside Amusement Park. Okay, quickly on to question number 2. Silent Hill witnessed a gruesome murder a few years back. A brother and sister were playing in the road when they were attacked and chopped into pieces with an axe. Torn flesh, smashed bones, splattered blood, and finally, flickered. What a terrible tragedy. What a gruesome end to such innocent lives. What was the name of the murderer who committed this vile act? 1. Walter Sullivan. 2. Scott Fairbanks. 3. Eric Gaines. Now for our third and final question. South of the lake is a deserted old neighborhood called South Vale. From there to Pale Vale, the central resort area northwest of the lake, there's only one road you can take. Just one road, no more. The third and final question is, what is the name of that road? 1. Bachman Road. 2. Brindell Street. 3. Nathan Avenue. Well, that's the last of our questions. Have you got it all figured out? When you know the answers, head to the storeroom on the 3rd floor to collect your prizes. But be careful if you're wrong. Well then, everybody, thanks for tuning in. See you again sometime. Bye-bye.
What was that?
This is like some Bioshock shit. Yeah, funnily, actually, in the remake, the voice performance there leans even more Bioshock. Less campy, less, how would I call it? I guess campy is the word for it, but more Bioshock. The fun thing with that is, in the remake, it actually happens when James is alone in the elevator, so Maria isn't there, and it's, I don't know, I feel like it's slightly more impactful that way, because it's just like James is fucking losing his mind. The answers, or rather the questions, are also different, so the answers are again also different. What the hell was I doing? I guess I'll go do that puzzle first. Oh no, wait, I know what I'm doing. I'm getting the fridge open.
You can't open it?
Yeah, Maria, give me a hand here.
Come on. You're supposed to be the big man around here. How's a little girl like me supposed to help? What's this? Not very cute, is it? Here, James. You take it.
Thanks.
So we got the second ring that we need for the Lady of the Door. I really like that cutscene. I just think it's really funny. Right, let's go do the puzzle box next. How am I getting there? Oh, right, I just have to go off the floor. Excuse me, nurse. Excuse me. So these questions, as you can probably guess, are static. They're not randomized every run. Otherwise they would have to have recorded a lot of different variations for that. So yeah, we actually have been in the storeroom just, but the puzzle box wasn't here yet. It's like this big, like almost like Oblivion-ass puzzle box. I don't know. It's kind of goofy, but we get a whole shitload of shotgun shells and 2 amp-holes out of it. So, fun fact, I asked Dr. Friend, which is the name that I have for my friend who is a doctor, what on earth this was meant to be, because amp-hole to me sounds kind of like a fantasy language. It's like, oh, I'm going to use a healing potion. On the bottle itself, it says serum. However, what she was telling me is that something that's pretty hardcore, like morphine or something like that, would actually come packaged like this. I don't know if it does all the time, but it certainly can be. So that's interesting. Okay, I'm gonna head... Oh no, I need to be up here anyway, so... Okay, so we just need to put the 2 rings on the door. The copper ring has a spider on it, and the lead ring has a skull kind of engraved into it, or carved into it rather. I put the copper ring on the hand of the lady in the painting. I put the lead ring of the hand on the lady in the painting. Okay. There's not a save point here, I don't think. I'm not checking any of the doors here because they don't open. Alright, so, no, I'm gonna say this, like, as it comes up. Alright, so you caught a glimpse of him there. This actually is a very iconic chase scene where Pyramid Head is chasing us. In the remake, you actually get a cutscene announcing that Pyramid Head is chasing you. I do not like that. I like that he just appears out of fucking nowhere and that suddenly you're running from him. It has a real sneak attack quality that the remake does not.
Open up!
You can't really hear it here. I guess the game volume is pretty low, but there's a song called Magdalene playing here, and it's very pretty. It's very, very simple. It's very pretty. Okay. There we go. It is very important that we pick this up. There's a key here. I remember one time, I think I left something here and had to run all the fucking way back, which was fun for me. He who is not bold enough to be stared at from across the abyss is not bold enough to stare into it himself. The truth can only be learned by marching forward. Follow the map. There's a letter and a wrench. So there's a letter in the wrench waiting for us at Gonzalez's Mexican restaurant. I copied them onto my map. I got the hospital lobby key. Alright, and we are done with the hospital. I feel like I got that done pretty quick. I kind of sequence broke a bit, but who's gonna tell on me, you know? Paleville. Paleville always reminds me of the place that Ed Gein came from. Oh, Maria's dead, I couldn't protect her, and Laura has run off somewhere. Once again, I couldn't do anything to help. Mary, what should I do? Are you really waiting somewhere for me? Or is this your way of taking... I'm going to find Mary. It's the only thing I have left to hope for. Okay. Yeah, but Paleville always really reminds me of the place that Ed Gein not came from. I think he came from elsewhere, but his family moved, and obviously was the place where he committed his crimes. It's called Plainsville, which is certainly, you know, a way to say there's fucking nothing going on here. You'd expect a place to have a Taco Bell, not a Gonzalez's. The thing kind of makes me laugh, honestly, because I just imagine, like, you know, Silent Hill is supposed to be pretty solidly in, like, New England, and I just think of, like, some poor Mexican guy, he's immigrated, and he's just moved to the fucking most depressing place in the world. It's like, there's no sunlight. Like, it's all just fog. You know, you're in fucking Silent Hill, of all places. So this is one of the Streets of Silent Hill segments. I kind of quite like this one. I do have a tendency to get a little bit lost, but I feel like you basically moved to England, yeah. Honestly, there's a meme going around that's like my favorite meme right now, where it's like, if you mod the Silent Hill remake to remove the fog, it really is just how like England looks. It really is just how England looks. Which, like, some people like that. I'm not personally a fan of the constant cloud, but there we go. So, in this segment, immediately after leaving the hospital, there's a couple of segments in the remake which I call, like, windy segments, where there's, like, a big gust of wind. It's almost like a big storm. No rain, but lots of wind, and you're kind of mobbed by enemies. And I didn't stay to fight. I think the expectation is that you run away. So that kind of like funnels you in a particular direction. Also, during this specific one, from leaving the hospital, Laura is kind of leading the way too. So it's a little bit more structured than this segment in the original game, which I don't mind. It also helps that the streets of Silent Hill at this point are all rainy. They've got rain puddles on the ground, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. It's kind of a shame that it is one of these windy segments where you're being mobbed by enemies, because there isn't really time to like wander around and soak up the pretty scenery, which is my favorite thing to do in pretty much any Silent Hill game, honestly. I guess that would be boring to some people, but I don't know. I like just kind of exploring and soaking up the atmosphere. You may have seen, I just completely blew past them, but when we were running through that segment with the enemies beneath the floor, those are called mandarins. They have a very special attack where they kind of shoot up spikes from the big arms that they have. And they like swing underneath the floor. You can't like hit and kill them, so they are just one to be avoided. I have something in my notes here that says I was getting really fucking tired of the emphasis on combat during the Streets of Silent Hill segment, but then the mandarins came out to play and I felt much better. The mandarins, they are reused for Silent Hill 3 and they are called closers. They have different animations and that kind of thing. But yeah, they are my favorite of the enemies in Silent Hill. I just think their design is really cool. Okay, so here we have Letter Ranch. It's not actually in the Mexican restaurant, it's in like the house right next to it. So we have the wrench. Or perhaps you are a fool. The truth usually betrays people. A part of that abyss is in the old society. The key to the society is in the park. At the foot of the praying woman, inside of the ground, inside of a box. To open it, I need a wrench. My patient buried it there. I knew, but did nothing. It made me uneasy to have such a thing near. I wasn't looking for the truth. I was looking for tranquility. I also saw that thing. I fled, but the museum was sealed as well. Now, no one dares to approach that place. If you still do not wish to stop, James, I pray to the Lord to have mercy on your eternal soul. So yeah, I remember now, I was getting confused in one of my many playthroughs of the sequence of events, so I ran straight to the park instead of picking up the wrench, and then had to run all the fucking way back. That was fun for me. So I feel like the remake is really missing these longer, just street segments here. Oh, we have one of our very few holes in the ground here. Usually Silent Hill 2 blocks off their roads with giant blockades instead of having just a hole in the ground. But yeah, I feel like these longer, just exploration segments is what the remake is lacking, to be honest with you. It's not something that, like, I can understand why they were cut. I feel like a lot of people would look at this and just call it game padding, but there's something about, you know, roaming around these streets that I personally quite like. Not this one. The door that wakes in darkness, opening into nightmares. I feel like after there was a hole here, it's gone now. That's probably like the most iconic piece of graffiti you can see here. So something that was in my notes quite a while ago, kind of in the first Streets of Silent Hill segment when you're with Maria, there is a gaping hole in the road that you can come across, and Maria specifically comments on it. And again, this is a small thing, but I feel like acknowledging it makes it a little bit less creepy. I feel like just having the hole in the road and having James not say a single thing about it is much more disturbing. Okay, and you can kind of really see here what I mean when I say that a lot of the park looks exactly the same. I'm looking for a specific thing. Here we are. Yeah, it was here where I got here, and realised I couldn't open the little box. James is fine to dig with his hands, but the box itself needs a wrench to open, and I was very cross that I'd forgotten to pick it up. There is also a cutscene around this part on the second or third time you visit the park. Angela is here. It is a completely new cutscene. Honestly, I feel like Angela's voice performance there is genuinely pretty good. It's also pretty effective that Angela's model herself, like her eyes are darting around everywhere, like she's really quite agitated or distressed. In my notes I say, this is the first time I've had a similar feeling that the original game with me, in that I desperately want to figure out what's going on. Yeah, it's honestly possibly my favourite moment of the entire remake, the fact that we have a an additional cutscene there. Yeah, and then we have the long, relaxing jog to the Historical Society. I'm hopefully going to be able to finish this tonight, but we'll see how I feel once I get to the hotel, because the hotel is its own undertaking. I think there's also a moment here, we may not have come across it just yet, I may have just spaced out and not paid attention, but there is a moment where a mannequin just falls out of the sky. Also, I love this little billboard here that says Quiet Cocktails. it seems like a kind of an odd name for a business to me, but at the same time, if a business was advertised to me and that it was a quiet place to just get cocktails, then I would be pretty sold. Okay. So this next little segment, we will be sans map, which is a little bit scary for me, but we'll keep going. There are a couple of paintings I can examine in here, I think, actually, so let's do that first before I head down the big spooky staircase. Ah, here we go. The ever iconic Misty Day Remains of Judgment. It's him. So the Remake Historical Society, of course, has that painting, but does have a moment where James kind of gasps and says, oh, it's him, and it, again, just feels a little bit blatant to me. I don't know, I feel like scares like that are better executed if the player's attention isn't really drawn to it. So again, I have the volume pretty low and I personally can't hear it, but usually when you come down here, there's this long droning sound that again really just puts a pit in my stomach. Some kind of document is lying here. September 11th, 1820, prisoner number C221. I can't read the rest. What is this? Alright. Let me just check my notes again. So, something that I have pretty mixed feelings on is playing the original here. You can see that we have definitely made a departure from the Historical Society. We are now not in the museum at all. We are now really digging up Silent Hill's history. Excuse me, I'm talking. Thank you. But in the remake, there are things that you can see where it seems like it's part of the museum, which I don't know. It's feasible that they would have an old prison that they would extend and have a museum in. God knows I have been in old prisons that have been converted into museums. It's very interesting. But I feel like the vibe here is that you are really digging into aspects of the history of the town that are best forgotten. Haha. We have our first iconic hole. The hole's dark and I can't see anything. Will you jump down? Yes. 1820, that's before the Civil War. I guess it is, yeah. Yeah, Silent Hill does have a history with colonialism. Mary herself says, I believe in the intro, that when the town was originally full of Native Americans, the place was considered sacred and a way to commune with people who have passed on. But of course, the settlers came and did their thing. I'm not gonna get into that right now, but there is like aspects of colonialism here that you can definitely dig into. No, we are not hard-locked, by the way. What do you call that? You know what I mean, when you're kind of stuck and then can't actually complete the game. It's just something to freak you out, which is cool. So. At this point, I was wondering where the segment of jumping down the holes would be. They are there, but they are just a little bit later in the remake. I was quite put out initially that the holes weren't there, because the holes genuinely, I know this seems like such a tiny little thing, but the holes are genuinely very important for the characterization of James. Okay, this puzzle. This one's fun. Alright. So we have a key in here. A spiral writing key. James's flashlight burns out. Luckily we have a battery. And now there's bugs everywhere. So, we have multiple tries to try and get this right. As you can see, the ones that we need to use are lit up, but you just have to guess. So this is completely RNG. I can imagine this really fucking up speedrunners. Okay. Third try, that's not too bad. So the remake has the jumping mechanic, of course, but the mechanic itself is pretty interesting in that you have to say yes, you want to jump down the hole several times before James will actually do it, and you can hear him breathing very heavily. He's obviously very scared, and yet he jumps anyway. Okay.
Killing a person ain't no big deal. Just put the gun to their head. Pow. You killed him? But it wasn't my fault. He made me do it.
Calm down, Eddie. Tell me what happened.
That guy, he had it coming. I didn't do anything. He just came after me. Besides, he was making fun of me with his eyes, like that other one.
Just for that, you killed him?
What do you mean, just for that?
Eddie, you can't just kill someone because of the way they looked at you.
Oh yeah? Why not? Till now I always let people walk all over me. Just like that stupid dog. He had it coming too.
Eddie?
I was just joking, James. He was dead when I got here, honest. Anyway, I gotta run.
You're going out there alone?
Yeah.
Eddie?
So, I again have thoughts on this. As you can see, this guy is obviously dead, but to me, and the same goes for the remake, he looks like he's been dead a long time. He doesn't look like he's fresh killed. And I say in my notes, I don't think that Eddie has killed this guy. I think this is a corpse that has been here a long time. Yeah, it's just interesting though, the vibe that I got from the remake is that Eddie has been left down here to rot. you know, James is finally interested in helping him out or like looking out for him, but it's only because Eddie has gone far past his breaking point and now is in desperate need of immediate help. Whereas before, when he specifically asked James for help, James was not interested. Also, random little fact here, if we turn away from the guy, the light is not on him, his little pile of guts and stuff there glows for some reason. I don't know. Okay. So I spent a decent amount of time just rubbing my face against everything in the cafeteria segment there. There is like ice and snow in the cutscene. I say snow. There's ice kind of underneath the corpse. There's condensation, as well as Eddie's breath fogging. There's actually a broken AC unit in there, which is odd to me because it's like, well, is this part of the museum or not? Because if not, then who the hell put AC in this pre-Civil War prison, you know? Okay, here we go, here's the map. I remember one time I did like most of this without the map and oh boy. Oh, that was a struggle. Ah, right, okay, so I maybe should go back to the cafeteria in a sec, but something that actually proved my point. I was really examining the scene in the remake because I'm very invested in Eddie, honestly. There are aspects of his character that I identify with, I'll say. Not all of them, don't be worried. But yeah, I'll just leave it at that for now. I was just very interested on whether he had actually truly killed the guy in the cafeteria there. He actually had not, certainly he couldn't have done in the remake because there's a painting of the cafeteria in the cafeteria, if that makes sense, but the corpse itself is also in the painting, so weird detail, but I think that kind of vindicated me personally. Also, buttercake. Buttercake is kind of like an asset that they have used a lot in various Silent Hill games. I don't know, it looks yummy. And we have our rifle. I'm pretty much going to be saving this just for the final boss. There's not much need to use it otherwise. The shotgun is usually sufficient. People always say shotguns in video games suck, by the way, but I don't know. I like, considering survival horror is my bread and butter, the shotgun usually in these type of games is pretty solid. Okay, how do I get in here again? The camera's playing a game with me. There we go. Let's go back to the cafeteria before I forget so I can just illustrate the point I'm trying to make. So back here, you can see there is a painting of the cafeteria in the cafeteria, and indeed, the corpse is also there in the original, so that is actually something I did not know, so I found out something new today. It's honestly why I keep coming back to this game. Number one, because there is absolutely nothing like it, but also because every time I play it, I see new shit, every single time. So you can hear a few enemies in here. They are all just in the cells, well, mostly just in the cells, so they're nothing to worry about. There is a wax doll in here, and there are a great many sigils on the wall and books on the floor. Books are scattered all over the bed and floor. Black Magic from the Abyss, Resurrection of the Dead, The Chronicle of Agrippa, Manuscript of the Iron Rings. I guess I shouldn't worry about these too much. James has got shit to do. He is not worried about this hocus pocus. I stomped you. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to check the door here just so that I know that it opens. We will be doing a puzzle here momentarily, but not just yet. "436 people at a recital. Burning Man. And we have a scare here in which... Oh, no, I thought we would. So, I have slightly spoiled you. There is a scare later where you go into one of the cells and then can't get out for a second. Okay, here we go. Tablet of the Oppressor. The iron barred door is tightly closed. I can't force it open. So, we're gonna... There we go. There's also an enemy stomping around in here, saying something very deep under his breath. I believe what it's supposed to be saying is ritual, but there's been an awful lot of people getting cross about what exactly it is they're supposed to be saying. That's what I'm missing. So this is the shower room here. In the remake, for some reason, I was convinced that there was gonna be a Pyramid Head fight in here. I mean, the whole thing is pretty spooky, but there's no Pyramid Head fight here in the original, so I don't know why I think that there'd be one here in the remake. There is a ton of extra content here in the remake, most of which I really, really did enjoy. There's a whole puzzle segment in a chapel that they have in one of the prisons. There's a puzzle segment where you have to like over-vault an electric chair so that the cells are all forced open. they're genuinely all really good, very symbolic, you know, just generally a very good time. So big praise I have for the remake there. Okay, where are we going? We're going down. Wait. Okay, now we're going down. Okay. Alright, so we have 3 tablets here. Tablet of the Oppressor. I'll move my mouse so you can actually see. Tablet of Gluttonous Pig. And Tablet of the Seductress. In the remake, I don't think this tablet puzzle specifically is used, but I do think they have the gallows here. There's gallows above. I probably should have mentioned that. Are they gallows? I think, yeah, they are. Here. Alright. We have our last piece of the puzzle now. We have a horseshoe. This isn't the right way. Okay, is it this one or is it the other one? It's the other one. Okay. Alright, so we have a trapdoor here without a handle. And the solution here is one of the greats. So we have a wax doll, a lighter, and a horseshoe. So we're gonna melt the wax doll with the lighter and then stick the horseshoe in, and we've made a handle for another hole to jump down. Oh. It looks like the lock is broken, I can't open it. As I approach the door, I get a whiff of some rotten smell coming from inside. And he says that for both doors. He says that for all 4 doors. So, that would make sense, because we are now in the morgue. It's actually, I've never really thought about this before, but if these are corpses from pre-Civil War, how are they still fleshy? I don't know how they wouldn't be like just skin and bone, well, just bone by now. Did that move or was it, did that just move or was it only my imagination? It doesn't actually move. And we have another hole to jump down. James says, how far does this thing go? So this is kind of a quirk of the original. James has his mouth open in that cutscene and it really makes him look quite gormless. I don't know why. So, prior to leaving the prison, there is a segment where there's weighing scales that you have to make hit certain weights to open certain doors, and it really just did my head in. I could not fucking figure it out. I had to look up an FAQ at that point and was just very cross at the whole thing. This elevator ride is longer than I remember. Going quite a ways down. A very obvious symbolism here, of course. My controller is also going fucking crazy right now with the vibration. I wonder if I put it on the desk if you can hear it. Oh. Well, it's stopped now, never mind. Okay. So we are now officially in the labyrinth. This is the only segment in the game where James will actually just draw his own map. This is something that's picked up for Silent Hill 4. And I believe Silent Hill F as well, Hinako draws her own map, which is useful, honestly. You know, I know these games pretty well, but I'm fucking useless without a map. So we're gonna be pretty quick down here because there's a chance that we can meet our pyramid-headed friend down here because he has a little hidey hole. As you can see, we can steal his great knife. So the great knife is actually usable as a weapon in the original. There is very little point to using it as a weapon because it takes like fucking 75 years to wind up and honestly doesn't hit that hard. Whereas in the remake, it's actually more of a puzzle item. There's a very cool moment where you take the great knife and it kind of, as you pull it through this kind of miasma section, it just kind of cleaves through. There's hands like trying to kind of grab at you, but the great knife just pushes them all away. It's very cool, honestly. Oh, right, okay, we're here already. Okay, I think I remember what the solution to this is. Just give me a minute. Okay, it is... I think it's yellow eyes upside down. Yeah, it is, cool.
You're alive! Maria, I thought that thing killed you. Are you hurt bad?
Not at all, silly.
Maria? That thing, it stabbed you. There was blood everywhere.
Stabbed me? What do you mean?
It chased us to the elevator, and then...
James, what are you talking about?
Just before. Don't you remember?
James, honey, did something happen to you? After we got separated in that long hallway? Are you confusing me with someone else? You were always so forgetful. Remember that time in the hotel?
Maria?
You said you took everything, but you forgot that videotape we made. I wonder if it's still there.
How do you know about that? Aren't you Maria?
I'm not your Mary.
So, you're Maria?
I am. If you want me to be.
All I want from you is an answer.
It doesn't matter who I am. I'm here for you, James. See? I'm real. Don't you want to touch me?
I don't know.
Come and get me. I can't do anything through these bars.
Okay. Stay right there. I'll be there soon.
Okay, so I of course have things to say here, but I just need to check my notes to remember what the hell it was that I was gonna say. Alright, so I have seen the original cutscene about 5 billion times, make that 5 billion and one now, and I think it might just slightly be my favourite over the remake. Maria just seems a little bit more in control and leading James by the nose. However, I really, really like how after getting stabbed, Maria has transformed in the remake to this very sympathetic kind figure to suddenly a cryptic and almost sinister one. She's toying with James in a way that she wouldn't have pre-stab, and I love that. In the original game, she similarly is cryptic and emotional and toys with James exactly as much pre- and post-stab. Yeah. I remember particularly thinking that there was a real transformation after her first death, basically. Also, someone has stabbed some wire cutters into this random box here. So we now have a puzzle item that we need. Excuse you. It's not this way. Here it is. I've also forgotten just how many fucking lion figures are down here. No reason for that. I think I may have just gone in a circle. Okay. I've been doing well, honestly, to not have gotten lost down here yet. Okay, here we are. Oh my god. You really just give me a warning there. Okay, good. We are in a separate segment now. All right. So, we have an Angela boss fight coming up. Oh, I guess we're launching straight into it. All right. Alright, oh god, okay, we launched straight into that. So, I have so many fucking things to say about the Abstract Daddy fight in the remake. It's possibly my favourite segment of the game, because it's very extended. In this, you just have this one room, and once the thing falls over, it's dead. However, the entrance, you enter into a room that looks quite a lot like the apartment in the apartment building that Angela was hiding in, which does make me wonder if her family home actually wasn't in Silent Hill to begin with, but that's something that, like, I kind of don't have a concrete answer for. Yeah, I said I wonder how long she's been gone from Silent Hill, whether she actually left in the first place or whether she just kind of made it to the graveyard and then came back. Yeah, so it begins in a normal family home, in a normal looking apartment building, maybe slightly run down, and as you continue through the fight, it just descends into this hell of fleshy walls and pistons like you can see here. I assume I really don't need to explain the symbolism here. But yeah, the Abstract Daddy boss fight also gave me quite a lot of issues in the remake. So the first segment of the fight is you just kind of avoiding Abstract Daddy as you kind of look for TV screens that play kind of clips from Angela's childhood, you know, unhappy times with her father kind of shouting at her, berating her, this kind of thing. But when you get to the final boss arena, I remember really struggling with that, but I kind of loved the segment so much that I really, you know, can't fault it too much. So we're gonna get the shotgun out, because we need to dispatch this fucker quickly. Abstract Daddy also looks pretty much exactly the same in the remake. He looks very cool. Yeah, you can see he hits real hard. I'm already at low health even though I just healed. I don't have a specific strat for this, honestly. His grab range is really big. Luckily, he's not a particularly fast mover.
Are you okay? Angela, relax.
Don't order me around!
I'm not trying to order you.
So what do you want then? Oh, I see. You're trying to be nice to me, right? I know what you're up to. It's always the same. You're only after one thing.
No, that's not true at all.
You don't have to lie. Go ahead and say it. Or you could just force me. Beat me up like you always did. You only care about yourself anyway. You disgusting pig.
Angela.
Don't touch me! You make me sick.
You said your wife Mary was dead, right?
Yes. She was ill.
Liar! I know about you. You didn't want her around anymore. You probably found someone else.
That's ridiculous. I never.
So, I have a couple more things to say about this. This is Angela's arc pretty much done. So I'm not going to have too much more to say about her. She is the one that I have the most to say comparing the original and the remake, though. It's down to the voice acting again, honestly. I am almost reminded of the guy that voices Otacon, in that he's really good at sounding like casual, conversational, you know, doing these like very like low emotional kind of scenes. When it comes to high emotions, when they're supposed to be upset or angry or anything like that, they just it's not giving. And I really don't mean to shit talk her performance. You know, I'm sure that the performance itself, if you're not comparing and you're not like obsessive over this game like I am, then it would seem fine to you, but yeah, it's just my vibe. All right, I have a long ass poem here. I am gonna read all of it, but I need to take a drink. I need to scroll down in my notes. Okay, so. Let's go. Dead men swinging in a tree. How many dead men do you see? Tongue turned blue and face gone grey. Watch them as they twist and sway. The first one killed the butcher man, then cooked him in the frying pan, served him to his hungry guests, and gave them seconds on request. The next one, with his smile and sweets, stole poor children off the streets. To men who dressed unsavory, he sold them into slavery. Breaking into a home at night, the thief, he had a nasty fright, filled his foolish head with ale, working the morn in the county jail. The artist, with his daunting skill, tried his hand at painting bills, but caught in rain he was undone, when the ink he'd used did start to run. With promises of great return, taking gold he did not earn, bundled it up out of sight, quietly slipped off into night. 3 houses into ashes burned, the sheriff, with no place to turn, did spy a stranger to his town, locked him up and beat him down. Dead men, swinging in a tree. How many dead men do you see? 6 feet long and 6 men wide, round their necks the noose be tied. And that's our puzzle hint. Only the sinless one can help you here. Mistakenly pull on a criminal's rope, and your reward will be returned to you in a shape most wondrously strange. Which basically means that if we fuck this up, we have to fight another lying figure. Interestingly enough, this puzzle is called Free the Innocent Man. However, the corpses here that are supposed to represent the men look pretty feminine. Now, I think I know where the positioning is for this guy anyway, but I'll just check. His face is covered with a piece of paper. There's something written on it. This man was hanged for the crime of kidnapping. Justice and revenge have been served. So we're looking for the arsonist, as you could probably have figured out. Murder, arson, here we go. So we go and pull on the corresponding hangman's rope. Middle one here. So it's a simple thing, but that cutscene there I've always felt is particularly tense if we consider James's potential passive suicidality. just the way that it's shot really makes it look like he's going to put his head in the noose there, and that's not something that's seen in the remake, which is a shame. I got the key of the persecuted. The paper that was covering the corpse's face is lying here. This way. All right. Here we go.
Maria? Maria? Maria, no! What happened to you? Why? Why? So the labyrinth segment in the remake is a lot longer than what we've just seen there. We're pretty much at the end of it now. I'm just going to double check my notes to see if I had anything else to say here. So I'm not actually 100% sure if you can check in on Maria and get another little cutscene where she's in the prison area there. It's certainly not something that I do in the original. However, if you do it in the remake, sometimes Maria will hum to herself, which is cute. I think it is one of the songs from the original soundtrack, but I couldn't tell you which one off the top of my head. Yeah, so I do have my issues with James's remake voice actor, but he does crying very well in that scene there. Okay. That's about all that's on there. Okay. We have goodies in here. Not a great many. And of course we have 3 freshly dug graves here. We have one for Eddie Dombrowski, one for Angela Orozco, and the final one is for James. And of course there's a hole we must jump down.
Eddie, what are you doing?
What does it look like? He always busted my balls. You fat, disgusting piece of shit. You make me sick. Fat ass, you're nothing but a waste of skin. You're so ugly, even your mama don't love you. Well, maybe he was right. Maybe I am nothing but a fat, disgusting piece of shit. But you know what? It doesn't matter if you're smart, dumb, ugly, pretty. It's all the same once you're dead. And a corpse can't laugh. From now on, if anyone makes fun of me, I'll kill him. Just like that.
Eddie, have you gone nuts? I knew it.
You too. You're just like him, James.
Hey, I didn't mean anything.
Don't bother. I understand. You've been laughing at me all along, haven't you? Ever since we first met. I'll kill you, James.
Alright, so let me get through this phase of the fight first, and then I'll talk about Eddie. Okay, that first fight really doesn't take very long, and I kind of wanted to just get it out of the way first. So, in the remake, as we just saw there, there's a ton of weird different camera angles in that scene as Eddie's speaking. I feel like that really does a lot to kind of enforce his just fractured psyche, the fact that he's gone at this point, he is snapped. He really has a transformation. It's more apparent in the remake than in the original, but he has this transformation from hapless victim to a complete villain, and I think it's really interesting to see, especially in the remake. I feel like the remake actually does that better. Also, trigger discipline. So I am certain that for the PS2, for the original version, they could only model it so that he had his finger on the trigger when he holds the gun. However, in the remake, he never takes his finger off the trigger when he holds the gun. And I feel like with the amount of resources they had for the remake, it would have been easy enough to model it where he doesn't have his finger on the trigger all the time. It could be me just delving way too far into this, but I feel like in the remake specifically, the fact that his finger is constantly on the trigger just tells you something about his character, the fact that he is constantly ready to snap. I'm reminded of the defense lawyer guy for the kid killer in Batum. Yeah. Honestly, I kind of am an apologist for Eddie, especially in the remake, because I remember how desperate he seemed for help in the original scene, and James just did not seem to want to give that help to him. And it's like, I get that James has his own shit going on, but I feel like nobody ends up in Silent Hill because they're doing well. You know what I mean? Everyone is a victim here. It's just it's a matter of who you are and what your character is like if you end up a villain also, you know? Alright, anyway, let's do the second phase of the fight. What is James looking at, actually? Oh. Here we go. Are there more there? Ah. Okay. So, actually, just before we head through, so the first phase of the fight here doesn't exist in the remake, but when we go through it into the meat locker segment, there are several sections of the fight that exist there. That fight also really fucking kicked my ass. I was not having a good time, honestly.
Do you know what it does to you, James? When you're hated, picked on, spit on, just because of the way you look, after you've been laughed at your whole That's why I ran away after I killed the dog. Ran away like a scared little girl. Yeah, I killed that dog. It was fun. Tried to chew its own guts out. Finally died all curled up in a ball. Then he came after me. I shot him too, right in the leg. He cried more than the dog. He's gonna have a hard time playing football on what's left of that knee.
You think it's okay to kill people? You need help, Eddie.
Don't get all holy on me, James. This town called you too. You and me are the same. We're not like other people. Don't you know that? Let's party!
Alright, I'm gonna... Oh, Jesus, don't punch me, man. I'm gonna try and get this done as quickly as possible, because even in the original, this fight is kind of a ball-like. Because as you can see, it's very easy to accidentally target the pieces of hanging meat here instead. Which, like, it's thematically appropriate that there's meat here that also happens to look just like Eddie. But I have to wonder what the hell kind of operation they were running here that they needed this much meat, you know? There we go.
Eddie? Eddie? I killed a human being. A human being. Mary. Did you really die 3 years ago?
So the remake actually doesn't have that scene where James is lamenting over the fact that he's actually killed someone now, not just a monster, but a human. Honestly, I feel like it adds a little something to not have him say that. I feel like to have him just look kind of scarred is better. I feel like having him saying, "Oh, I killed a human being," is a little cheesy, personally. Oh, okay, so I can talk about this here. So the Lady of the Light is the kind of mythos that the remake builds up about this lady who has a lantern. She waits on an island for a man to come see her because she's been exiled there. And it's very obvious that this is what it's foreshadowing. It is foreshadowing James's trip across the water, excuse me, to see the lighthouse and to get to the hotel to potentially find Mary. Alright, so the actual strat here to get this done quickly, because you can spend a while out here if you don't know what you're looking for, but yeah, you just rotate until you see the light. I've overshot a little bit. Okay, and then you just go. It's funny actually, when you get your end game stats, one of the stats that they give you is how long it took you to get across the water here. This place hasn't changed at all in 3 years. Alright, so small detail here. In the original, we don't actually see James moor the boat, but it is still here, like he can still get in it. Well, you can't get in it, but you get what I mean. Were this real life, he would have the opportunity to get back in because the boat is still there. In the remake, he doesn't take the time to moor the boat, and you can't actually go back to see the boat, I don't think, and it makes me wonder if James thinks, you know, what's the point, because I'm not going back, you know? The whole, what's the word? The whole hotel, the docks, and the gardens around it. The gardens are expanded, you can't really explore them in the original, but in the remake they are absolutely gorgeous. I was gushing about that in this point in the notes. We have a Little Mermaid music box also. Okay. Alright. Let's grab the map. Waiting for you in 312, she says. What's this? Room 312. That's the room Mary and I stayed in. Mary, are you there? Or maybe... Okay. Alright, I could probably go for longer, but I feel like 2 hours is a good kind of time frame to keep it at. I don't know if people want to watch streams for longer than 2 hours. Not that people are really watching anyway, but I have a lot of fucking feelings about this game and I need to get them out, so... it's a good reference point if people say, like, hey, what did you think of the remake? I can just shove them, like, 6 hours of streams where I talk about it. I will almost certainly be streaming tomorrow, probably earlier. I'm gonna get it done next stream. There's no way that I don't, because this is the last kind of area in the game. It's also gonna be probably a bit shorter than 2 hours. But yeah, I have thoroughly enjoyed just talking about all of my feelings about this game and its remake, because I have a great many. Yeah, I guess that is it for now. I am going to quit out, and I am going to say thank you very much to Embrick for keeping me company, for helping me out with some audio issues, and good night.